Okay, science today. We are starting the construction of your paper airplanes. We're going to do a race of your best one, or ones, I guess, ideally just one from each person, on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And that's going to be like our last thing, kind of like connected to, like a gym party. Okay, so here we go. All right. Okay, so designing paper airplanes. I can recognize, this is what you could, this whenever we were in school, is what you'd write down. I can recognize the importance of stability and control to aircraft flight, and design, construct, and test control surfaces. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now there's many different types of paper airplanes, and today what we're going to do is we're going to start with step number 1, which is the construction of the airplanes. Okay, alrighty. So basically, what I'm suggesting that you do is try a couple different types. So there's one type which is called the basic square airplane, and it is like this. So okay, yeah. So I'm gonna give you guys all of these instructions as well on Edmodo, so you can print them off. And then actually, there's also a third page here, which is a template. So it's basically this, and then it tells you like you can exactly, so you know exactly the fold point, so everything is very symmetrical. So this is the first one. It's called a basic square paper airplane. The next one is called the condor. The condor is named after a bird. So condors, yeah, this is the bird, a condor. So the condors have large feathers at their wingtips for control. Doesn't that look interesting, right? That's kind of rare to see. Instead of feathers, this airplane has winglets. Okay, so we see these little like winglets over here. And because of the wide wingspan, this airplane is fragile where the wings meet the fuselage. Okay, so that means here, right, there's a lot of, like, because it's so large, it's a lot of force that's being put on this small connection point. Okay, then adjust the winglet and bend the arm to adjust the trim. Okay, so you can kind of like modify this a little bit more yourself. Maybe you want to make the winglet bigger or smaller. It does give you a guide to use, so you can try that, and it gives you all of the different steps for what to do to build this one. So you're going to see this one, obviously the instructions are much longer, so it's much more complicated to make, but looks pretty cool in the end. Okay, so the condor. Another one you may choose, oh yeah, cool. Okay, then this one, lots of different steps. Look at this at the very end here. Oh, wow, you have to make this nose for it. Cool. Okay, so the next one is called an aigrette. And an aigrette is kind of more like a typical paper airplane. Okay, so this one is, this is a more similar to a common paper airplane that everyone makes because of this model's carefully measured shape, it can attain a very smooth and flat landing. Okay, so make sure that the shape is properly adjusted with its vertical tail straight up and down. Hold between the thumb and forefinger, launch it going straight ahead. Okay, so again, there's a few different pages for this one. Also comes with a template. Now this one, to me, is the most complex, and this one's pretty cool, and they give you a really, really, really good blueprint or template to use for this one. So you have to cut out a few parts of this one. So I suggest that you print this out first, and then you can, cut it out, and then it'll give you all of the different steps. Now this one, you have to really read carefully to follow all of these different steps. Okay, now this one you're gonna see is the coolest because we can actually adjust the ailerons. So this one you're able to make it, you're able to modify the design to achieve certain maneuvers or like tricks. Okay, so this one, I'm super curious to see who makes this one. Okay, all right, so, and then maybe there's some other designs that you could make, perhaps, like like this one looks super cool. This one looks kind of like the aigrette. I don't know. Okay, then there's, those ones are super fancy over there. Holy smokes. Okay, so if we were to be doing this in school, what we would have done is, restart? No. Okay, what we would have done is an E would have been constructing 5 different types of airplanes. So I've given you 4 different types, and you would have to create a 5th as your own to get an E. A CA would have been constructing 4 of the airplanes. I think, no, 3 to 4 of the airplanes. And then an RA would be constructing any 2 that you choose. So there you go. Okay, so your job, that's it. So your job today is only step 1, which is just construction of the airplane, okay? Tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to test the airplanes. And then step 3 is we're going to actually maybe a little bit of redesigning before we get into like the actual, race. Okay, so there you go. Have fun. You're going to see all of these files are uploaded onto the science page as well for you to use. Download, print off, whatever, because the templates are like actually quite helpful. But this, you don't have to create these 4. You can create any ones that you want, but I would suggest, because we're going to do like a race where you have to choose your best one, and that is going to be on Tuesday. So you have a bit of time to kind of experiment, but I do suggest that you don't just like only make one, because maybe there's going to be something better that you can engineer and redesign and enhance upon. Okay, so there you go. Have fun.